We're streaming. There it comes. There we go. Nice. Should be streaming out to you right now, hopefully. Let's see what we got going on. Oh, there we go. I just gotta find you. We're somewhere out there, somewhere out there. And let's see. There we go. Live. That would help, huh? Nice. How's the volume doing out there? Everybody good? All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Amber, Courtney. Welcome, everybody. Feel free to share this video if it's something you think someone might enjoy. Oh, tonight. What a crazy day, huh? We had the eclipse. Mercury is in retrograde still. It's just, we're surviving it all. Did you get your glasses? Did you have your glasses on? Were you looking into the sun? That's why I can't see anything. It's all spotted. The screen looks like leopards. Oh no. I'm getting a little excited here though. We gonna work on a new studio. I think after Labor Day we'll come back and you'll see a whole new studio. So I'm kind of excited about that. And let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. I thought for a second there was no volume on here. Okay, there you go. Hi Ember. Bam. Give you a big heart. I still have some strategy sessions that are open. I'm going to put the link on tonight's show. Throughout tonight's show, you'll get that link on there. You just click on the link and you will be able to go on and schedule. Bam, there you go. Click on the link and go to the scheduling calendar and you can schedule your strategy session this week or the following week up until Labor Day weekend. That's coming up pretty quick here. Is everybody excited for that? Do you have some plans? I hope so. Hope you have some plans to go with the weekend. It's going to be a nice long weekend. You never know what the weather's going to be like, though. At least not in Wisconsin. Wherever you're at, let me know where you're at and tell me how the weather is out by you. But tonight we're going to talk about the #1 goal killer. Not gold digger, not goal strengthener, but goal killer. And it's not Old Yeller either. That kind of sounded like that. Go, Old Yeller. So tonight we're going to get going in about 4.5 minutes. And it looks like everything is working except for my mouth. The words are not forming too well. So get your favorite beverage. Get up to belly up to the bar. Get your favorite beverage. Come on back. Get a seat up close to the front. Unless you're watching me on YouTube TV or Apple TV with YouTube, it's like then you want to probably back away from the TV set because my head is huge on a big set. So, yeah, there you go. Speaking of which, let's pull that up. So a little bit, 3.5 minutes to go. What you got going on for the rest of this week? I'm already making plans for the weekend. We'll see what happens though, huh? There you go. I don't know why it is, but YouTube seems to look better higher quality, better quality than the Facebook one, Facebook videos. So I'm not quite sure why that is, because they're both done at the same screen size and everything. So, hi, Kyle. Welcome aboard. Good to have you aboard. Say hi to your sister and your niece. Make sure you say hi in the comments there. They're watching along with you. Kind of like you're all together in one big room. Kind of nice. So tonight we're going to talk about the number one goal killer. What kills your goals? What makes you stagger away? Fall down. Play dead. Play opossum. I still got to say possum. Going to get going in a little over 2 minutes to go. And I don't know why, but this has been like one of the longest days in my life. And usually you embrace those, because what happens on like a Saturday, a Sunday, or one of those days that you're getting so many things done, today just seemed to drag. I don't know if that's everybody else out there. Maybe it was aftermath of the eclipse or something, but boy, this day just seemed to drag for me. So we'll do well on this. But we're going to talk about the number one goal killer. What is killing your goals? Hey, leave me some in the comments. Tell me what kills your goals. What is it? Your mindset? Is it money? Lack of greenbacks? Huh? That doesn't take your business to the top? Make your life easier? Yeah, so tell me what's on your mind. Hit me up in the comments on that. Also, I'll talk about a couple of emails if we get to them that I got this week. And you can also, I don't know if you get the daily newsletter, Monday through Friday. I do a daily newsletter, and I don't know if you call it a newsletter. I'll call it a newsletter for lack of anything else. But you can go on davestelma.com. You can take the quiz there, and you will automatically get signed up for that newsletter. Otherwise, you can always shoot me an email or go on one of the links within the pages of the davestelma.com, and you can sign up for that newsletter. And that's Monday through Friday. It's a quickie. Nice quick little thing to motivate you and get you thinking for the day, to give you some tidbits and topics and all that good stuff, just to get you focused more on your day, to get more joy in your life. I will stop playing with the microphone. We'll get going in about 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Welcome everybody to tonight's show. I'm Dave Stelma, and you're with me tonight. And tonight we're going to talk about the number one motivation killer, number one goal killer, the number one killer of your joy in your life. Right after the intro. Do you know what the number one joy killer, the number one goal killer in your life is? Can you take a guess? Take a stab at it. Go ahead. Come on. What is it? Did I hear you? Lack of passion? That could be a good guess. Yeah, I heard that one out there. Trust. Lack of trust. So the lack of trust is really the number one goal killer in everyone's life. We start out with a passion, and then we start having these wonderful ideas. And if you're lucky enough, your passion then turns into your business, your career. And we start out with that passion, it turns into a career, it turns into a business, and then we start to stagger, we start to kind of falter in that because we don't trust in either the higher power, whatever you want to call it, higher power, God, Allah, I don't care what you want to call it. Put a label on it. If you're an atheist, you'll say me. I'm the higher power, and that's great. I have no problem with that. But you're going to put your trust in that higher power to come up with to bring it to fruition. It's no different than planting a seed in the ground, and then you come out and you water it, and then get some sunshine, and eventually it starts to grow. Anyone that's ever planted any kind of a seed knows that. You can plant grass that way. You can plant, I mean, it comes from a seed. But you have to believe and trust that it will grow. Same thing with our business, and same thing with our lives, just bringing joy into our lives. If you focus on the joy and what's going to bring you joy in your life, and sometimes it's money, sometimes it's, because we all have to, we're a money society, so we have to kind of thrive on that a little bit, but we have to trust that's going to happen. Now, I've been lucky. I've done this a few times in my life. I've been a musician. I've owned a clothing store, now being a life coach, and you have to trust that that your higher power is going to just bring to you the way, how to get to that step. So your focus needs to just be on what you're striving for. So you set that intention, you set that goal of what you're striving to become, or what you are, or what your passion is. Believe in that passion, and then you have to just release it out there. Focus on that goal, what you want it to look like, where it wants to go, as far as how big of a business, how big of a life, how much money you want, how much whatever it is, how many people you want to help. Whatever that is, focus on that goal, and then just let your higher power, trust that your higher power is going to bring everything that needs to happen, all the steps along the way that needs to happen to bring it to fruition, and to for the greater good of all involved. I wrote about that this week. In fact, I think that's tomorrow's newsletter. Sorry, I get a little ahead of myself. But that's where the magic is when you go from the you go from the can I do this to I can do this. Just that split second of attitude then all of a sudden throws it into your source, throws it into your higher power's hands, and then that's where the magic happens. That's like those magic beans that Jack planted, right? That's a part of the fable there. He planted those magic beans and the beanstalk came, right? Then everything broke loose, right? But it starts with that belief. So we go from the can I do this to I can do this, and the higher power takes over. It's then the process of letting yourself, just act upon everything that's given to you. The person that you meet that's in front of you at the grocery store, all of a sudden there's someone, and I've used this story several times because it's happened to me. Someone all of a sudden is at the checkout and things aren't going right. They have to do a price check or something like that. You can either get angry and walk to a different line, or you might just start a conversation with the person that's in line with you. And all of a sudden, maybe that's the person that you're supposed to be talking to at that moment in time, that you're either inspiring, or it could be the person that you're going now from there, you're going to apply for a car loan at a bank, and lo and behold, that's your loan officer. Oh, and now they all of a sudden realize you're a good person because you didn't get all flustered, you didn't get angry, you didn't take out aggression on someone. It could be something as simple as that. But act upon in those moments. Relish those moments. Be in that moment. Now, also, it can happen at night. I do this every morning. It's crazy that all of a sudden I will wake up and I'll be like, I got this idea. Now, the key to that is have either pen and paper within arm's length. I usually use my smartphone, which I shouldn't be doing. I've been told several times, get a pen and paper and write it down. So I will try to train myself again on that. But I usually grab my smartphone and I start emailing myself. I can sit there and I can pop it into an email faster, the thoughts, the idea, as they come to fruition. And I usually have that during the night. I'll get these ideas, you know, the motivation, the inspiration that comes to me. But I have to trust in that. So when I go to bed at night, I'm also focusing on that end goal that I want to happen. And then the ideas start to come to me. When you relax, I got a little bug in here. When you relax, then it can bubble up to the surface instead of being overwhelmed by bills and you know, things that are happening in life or things that are happening out there. Did I get my solar eclipse sunglasses? Oh no, I'm not going to be able to watch it. I don't know. It was cloudy around here, so we couldn't really watch it anyway. And it didn't get that dark around here, so I was kind of depressed that it didn't get real dark. Not really depressed, just kind of figuratively depressed. But there's nothing worse than this happens to me. And I hope it doesn't happen to you, but I have a sneaking suspicion it happens to everybody. You ever go into like the kitchen and you get in there and you're like, what did I come in here for? Or just a room in general. You're just like, came in here for something. What was it? It was, and then you go right back out and retrace and you go, oh yeah, I was going for AA batteries or something, you know, whatever it is. But you don't want that to happen when you have that aha moment. So always have either a pen and paper within 3 feet of you, or you're, like I said, with my smartphone, I always have my phone, sorry to say, within 3 feet of me. And I will, then I'll email myself, whatever it is, whether it's a story for the newsletter, whether it's an idea for a class, a course, or whether it's just an idea in general, something, Christmas present for the kids or whatever it is. I'll send that to myself as a email. And that's the pattern that I've gotten into. But like I said, a lot of people have said, write it down in a journal, keep a journal. You can put your gratitude in there, things you're grateful for. You can also do it as an idea journal, just a journal in general, of all the things for that day. And the bottom line to all of this, and it's going to be the theme throughout the evening, is trust. You have to have trust in that higher power, whatever your higher power is. You have to have trust that higher power is then going to give you the ideas, the visions, the process, the dream, you know, of how it's going to come to fruition. So write those down. Have a dream journal, or have just a journal itself, and then make the notes. Write that down and see what happens. Try it for a whole week. Just see what happens if you try it. Start today. Today's Tuesday. Start today, and just every idea that flows into your brain, write it down, and give it up to the source, your higher power, God, whatever you want to call it, and see what happens. See what happens. Next, I want to talk about another newsletter that I wrote this week, and it was kind of interesting. At least for me, it was interesting. There was a study between 1995 and 1998. There was a study done in Houston Medical Center, Houston Veterans Administration Medical Center, on patients that were experiencing osteoarthritis in one knee. And what they did is they split it up into thirds. The first group, they operated for the same length of time. I'll preempt this. Everything was done the same. Every appointment was the same amount of pre-appointments, same questions during the pre-surgery, same amount of time during the surgery. And there's a great YouTube video on this. Just YouTube placebo surgery, Houston, 1995, or I think the video on the BBC came out in 2004. And that's where I first saw of it. And the first group, they went in and they flushed out the knee. So any fragments, anything of that sort. Now, bear in mind, it's going to be for the same amount of time on all of them, on all 3 groups. So the first group, they flushed out so any debris was gone, just with saline. That was it. Sewed up, and that was done. Second group, they would shave any of the cartilage. They would remove all that debris and flush everything out that way, sewed it back up. The third group, the surgeon actually would have a video of an actual surgery going on, and they would use instruments, and they would make an incision, because then there was no way to determine whether they were in the third group, second group, or first group. So they would make an incision, and they would take the same length of time as all the other surgeries, and nothing was done. They didn't remove anything. They didn't do anything, but they did watch a video of a surgery being done on a TV screen. And as that was happening, they would take instruments, and so you'd hear the rustling of the instruments, you would hear the clanging, you would ask for instruments from the surgical team. Everything was done the same way there, and all 3 groups were put under anesthesia, just like an operation would happen. So they would all come out of it, and so as far as the patients are concerned, then they're going to have all their same physical therapy and all of that goes with it. And as far as the patients are concerned, none of them would know, or their loved ones that were there during the surgeries would know, because of the length of time was the same and all of that. And the doctor would come and say, hey, he's come out, he's going to be out of the surgery, and he's in pre or post-op, and they would do everything identical. And then as they came out of the surgery, months later, there was no difference between all 3 groups. The third group that got no surgery at all, and it's amazing when you watch the video, because on the video itself, there's a patient that's interviewed, and he reveals, he goes, I had no clue. And he was walking fine, everything. He was like, oh, this is so much better. Everything is. So the mind is very, very powerful, is the bottom line to this. You can determine in your mindset whether you're going to have pain. And yes, and I'm not saying all surgeries are bad. So don't like me with emails and bash and all this stuff. There's surgeries that need to be done, but mindset is probably just as crucial, or can be as crucial in some people's minds. If you talk to accident victims, it's amazing how as soon as they get, not all of them, but a good percentage of them, as soon as they get the paycheck from the accident and that's all resolved, it's amazing how within days, weeks, maybe even a few months, that could have been that they're feeling fine. They're walking fine, everything's fine, everything is good, and they're back to a normal place. Now, that's not always the same, but it's amazing how your mind can do that to you. So your mindset is a very, very valuable. And even if you're going into a surgery, your mindset can be very, very important to the outcome of that surgery. People that go into cancer, chemotherapy for cancer, anything that's a negative dis-ease of your body, that mindset can be super important. And part of that is trust. People that trust in their higher power, trust in whatever that is to you, that's really the secret weapon to the healing process in your body, to your success in life, to the amount of money you make. It can be as simple as that, as your mindset. So trust is the biggest factor in that. You have to trust that things are going to be great, not just okay. They're going to be great. We can just say, hey, all I want to do is get by. Well, you'll get by. You'll have enough just to get by. But why not take that same amount of energy and say, things are going to be great. This is a great life. Awesome. I love it when people say, how's it going? How are you doing today? And I'll be like, I'm doing great. How about you? And they'll be like, whoa. Or I'll go, fantastic. How about you? They're just put it back. They're not used to that. They're not used to someone saying they're having a fantastic day. Usually people do what? Think I hear you. A little bit louder. Complain. Yeah. Woe is me. Life is bad. Things aren't good. Oh my gosh. You know what happened to this person, to me, to this, to that, you know, whatever it is. So try the opposite. Go the opposite way. Trust that we got your back. I got your back. If you need inspiration, shoot me an email and I'll tell you what, I'll inspire the heck out of you that day, because we're here for a reason. We're here, and you're here watching this for a reason. Your reason is because you think that somebody else should be watching this and would get a lot out of it. But you know what? You're really the true person, because you're the true person that needs to be watching this. Because now you're going to lead. You may not need the inspiration. You might be the person that inspires people. And so this may take you to the next level of, you know what? I can do that. I'm better than that Dave Stelma guy. So why don't I go on there, and why don't I go on Facebook and do this? Do it. Inspire people and take them farther. But trust. Be like the people in the placebo group, but without the operation. Just trust that you really are okay. You can heal yourself emotionally, sometimes physically, and you can heal yourself. And so take that and use that trust. And it's your secret weapon. Your secret weapon that's out there. Segment 3. There's always 3 in a day, right? So the other one I want to talk about is, did you hear the one about the dog that obeyed his master? I think this was today's story or yesterday's story. I don't know. Amber, help me out on this. I lose track of these. But it was just funny because I was watching YouTube, as I do from time to time, and probably too much. And I was watching an interview with John Mayer, of all people. And if anybody remembers John Mayer from the past, I was kind of blown away. I thought, well, I'll give this a chance, because I remember John Mayer just being, well, not so a very egotistical man. Great guitar player, great songwriter, but very egotistical. Well, this was a great interview. He's changed. He's done a whole 180. And I couldn't believe it. And one of the stories throughout that conversation, throughout that interview, that came up was he was talking about a song that he wrote, and about a breakup that he had with a girlfriend and that. But he referred to the story about the Akita dog in Japan. This is back in the 1920s, and the Akita dog that would go to the train station with his master that was a professor. The professor would get on the train, go to the university, teach for the day, come back home, and the Akita dog in the meantime would go home, hang out there, and then come back every day at the time that the master was coming back, the professor was coming back from school at the train station. And this went on for a whole year. He'd leave the house, come back, meet him at the train station. They'd walk home and together. So it happened for a whole year, until one day the professor actually had a brain hemorrhage at the university and died there. And so he never made it home to the dog. So the dog sat at the train station waiting for the professor to come home and waiting for the professor to come home. And he would go, then the dog would go home and then come back every day at the same time. He did that for 9 years and 9 months after his master, the professor, passed away. And so now there's a statue that's there, and what John Mayer was saying, well, I'll tell you this part first. Now there's a statue there that commemorates that. And 2 points. One, that's what statues are about. They're there to inspire. And I won't go any farther than that, but I'm just saying statues are put up to be inspirational and take something from the past and put a memory with it, a remembrance with it, and should be something that inspires people to be better individuals, to do better for your community. But where John Mayer was going with it, he said that he felt for the longest time after his breakup that's how he felt, like that dog that was coming back and just waiting for them to come back. And what struck me was, while he was telling that story, was this, and this is the week of, or the month, and the week of when my mother passed away 5 years ago. And it kind of struck me the same way. For the longest time afterwards, I was kind of waiting for her to show up, my mother to show up, to mom to, walk through the door. And we do that with people that pass. And so you kind of wait, and you're waiting for that to happen. And then with time, it gets better. And you know that she's not coming in the door. You know that she's not coming in. You know that she's not going to be there physically. But she's there around us all the time. And in the newsletter, I said, my question was to everybody, who are you obedient to? And as we go through life, we are obedient to different things. Like when I was in my 20s, I thought that working at your job, being as good as you could be at your job was the thing that you had to do. And so I sacrificed a lot of stuff. I probably sacrificed time with mom and dad and my family because of that. Because I wanted to prove that I was, I worked retail, so someone would call in sick, I had to do it. I managed a retail store, so it's like I was the one that had to work. Holidays, you had to work. All those things. It's like you were the one that were the go-to person. You had to work. You had to, if someone called in sick and that. So I did that stupidly in my 20s because that got me nothing. And so I sacrificed, and I take full responsibility for it. I sacrificed probably moments and memories that I could have had. So as you go through your week, think of who and what are you obedient to? Because your focus, I'm going to tell you right now, should be on what brings you joy. So if you're not joyful at work, start planning. Don't go in and just quit, but start planning what would bring you joy. And then focus on that, plant it as a seed, and let your higher power show you the way. That's really what you need to do. You have to trust in that higher power. And trust that they're going to help you through that. And if you're having a downtime, Then trust in your higher power too. Don't wait till it's a negative situation to say, hey, you know, if you get me out of this, you can do that just with your goal. So focus on make a list of what brings joy into your life. And that's where you need to focus. And if it's getting a different job, then focus on that. What job would bring joy into your life? What would you wake up every morning with that aha, that dream, that passion, and get out there and just hit the ground running? Whatever that is, do it. Plant that seed as a goal, and then let your higher power take you there. If there's something else that you need in your life, let me know. As I said at the beginning of the show, I have some spots open up until Labor Day for some quick half-hour strategy sessions. So feel free to hit me up on that. I put a link before. I'll put another link out there again to hit my calendar. And then once you do that, just there you go. So click on that, and you can go to my calendar and just schedule a half-hour appointment and for a strategy session. We can go through. They're totally free. And my goal with those are you should be able to get at least I'm gonna send you some free session questions and that to fill out, and hopefully you're gonna get at least some kind of breakthrough during that half hour, and then we'll go from there. But this week, think of who you're obedient to and who you're loyal to. You can be loyal to your career, but don't be obedient to joy. Whatever brings you joy in your life, that's what you want to focus on. Clock on the wall says it's almost 7, so have a great week. Give lots of hugs. It's 4 hugs for, what is it? 4 hugs for to stay the same, 8 hugs to improve, and 12 hugs to accelerate your life every day. So go out there and give 12 hugs. And I had a client this week that said, so does that mean I can give 12 hugs to the same person at different times? I'm like, I think that works. So anyway, go out there, have a great week, and lots of hugs and love to you. And bye. If you like this video, like my Facebook page or subscribe to my YouTube channel, or find everything at davestelma.com.